Hey everyone, it is the Charming Giraffe, and today we are going to do some more embellishing with the embossing powders. And this was a pour that I had done back around Halloween. I don't know if it made it to the YouTube channel or not, but it definitely would be on the Instagram, I'm pretty positive. And today what we're going to do on this is we're going to emboss some little ghosts. I'm going to use this stencil, and I was going to do black ghosts, but I don't know if that's what I want to do now. Let me see. I have this one. I've got one called, and these are all embossing powders by Ranger. Yeah, by Ranger. I've got this holographic one. I remember it was kind of strange, but it might work with a ghost since they're ghosts. They're translucent. You don't see them really, whereas black would really kind of stick out. So I think we're going to try that. I remember the last time I used it, I was pretty disappointed, but I'm thinking with what the content is today that it would make sense. So hopefully it'll be really cool. The way I'm going to do this, there's multiple ways. In prior video, I had written a word on a painting with a pen. You can probably just color it in and it would work just fine. I'm going to use this by stampendous. It's an embossing ink, clear embossing ink, and it's like a dauber thing, so I can just dab where I want it. So that's what I will do. Oops, sorry guys, bumped ya. So we'll get started here. I'm probably going to put a few of these on here. So we'll get started. And sometimes what I like to do, I'm not sure how much in frame I am, is I'll start it out over here because it's clear. Just like in the prior video on this, you can't see what you're doing. So it makes it a tad bit challenging sometimes. I always hold the stencil just to make sure it doesn't move around. And then I just kind of go over it really thoroughly because you can't tell. There's no other way to say it other than you just can't tell. I wanted to look at something else. 1 second. Okay, I guess not. I thought I had another stencil with a different ghost on it, but I guess not. We'll just use this ghost, which is fine. I do squeeze it a little, but I have noticed if you squeeze it too much, this little white part will actually pop off a little bit. I haven't had it pop all the way off and get the clear ink everywhere, thankfully. But I don't want that to happen. Here, we'll do one up here. We'll angle it a little bit. Hope I remember where I put all these little guys by the time I go to put the powder on it. I want to flip it upside down, but I've got embossing ink all over it, so I don't want to do that. So I'm going to risk it by putting it on top of where I know I've already put some. Hopefully it won't wipe it away or anything tragic. If it does, all I do is I'll just wipe away the embossing powder that sticks to it and then come back later. I do come back several hours later or the next day because it is slow drying ink. So if I were to try, if I were to wipe this guy off, let's say I put the embossing powder, I didn't like him, and I wipe it off and I go to put more ink down, the old ink is still there. So you can't, the powder would stick to the old ink also. So you have to wait or somehow clean it off. I haven't ever done any of that, so I just wait. Okay, hopefully these guys get covered. And, oh yeah, I think he needs a little bit more in this little, there. Alright. Now there definitely is a lot of embossing powder all over this. You can see how it just sparkles everywhere. So we will definitely have to dust that off. And that might take a few minutes. So I may zoom this part up once I get started on that. Because it's a lot and it does take some time to do. But I do want to show it to you so you know what I'm doing. It's so pretty, and there's so much of it. I think this one's lighter than others that I use because I do not remember it like sticking like that for the most part. So we'll get started with cleaning this guy up. I'm sure I will still have some of it that's gonna stick, that might even get set once I get the heat gun to it. That's fine. I try my very best to not have that, but there's just so much on this one that I'm not gonna let that worry me. And it's just ghost, so we can just kind of call it like ghost dust or something. Like, it's not as worrisome to me as if I was going to do something else. Like if I had like a really pretty something, I don't know. Not saying that this isn't really pretty or anything, but just saying like having a little bit of ghost dust isn't the end of the world. The only thing with me going as fast as I am, make sure you're not just taking off one of the ones that you want to keep. There's so much. Yeah. This would take all day to get like every little speck off of here, just so you know. And we don't have all day, so we're not going to worry about it. That is absolutely crazy how much there is. I think it's just this one powder though. Most of the time it doesn't do all of this craziness. Like on the one where I did the word love, there wasn't little pink pieces of pink in the middle of the L and the O and the E like there is like all over this one. Okay, I'm just going to spend a few more minutes doing this and then we're going to go for it. Like I said, this would take all day if I was gonna like try to get it perfect. Okay, this seems to be the only area where I haven't done huge swipes. Additionally, like on the last one I did with the word love, if you're only putting it in one section, like let's say I was just writing a word right here, you wouldn't have all of it all over the place. It was just because I had so many ghosts across the entire painting that I have to pour in multiple locations. And then the other thing I think about before doing it is once you've poured it, decide how you're going to take it off. Like this one had glitter everywhere or had the powder everywhere, so it didn't really matter which way I went because I was going to get powder on the entire piece. But if I was just writing a word here, obviously dump it this way. If you dump it this way, then you're going to drag all of that powder across it, which gives it more opportunity to make a mess like this where you have to clean it all up. They do make some like static things that you can like put over your piece of work to try to get like less clean, I think is the intent there. I have one. I haven't really noticed that it helps that terribly much, so I don't do it. But here's our little ghost beforehand. And I just realized as I was doing all that swiping, you may have not been able to hear me very well because that was kind of loud. So hopefully you heard most of what I said. I will mute this next part while I heat up the gun and start embossing. Okay, we are back, and as you saw as I did it, they just kind of disappear into the color, so you just are left with the glitter, which now that's what I remember happening. So they definitely are ghosts because you can't really see them until you're there. I may like try to outline them and with something or another to try to make them more obvious that they're ghosts, because right now they just look like patches of glitter randomly on the painting. But I kind of like it because that's exactly what ghosts would look like. You can't see them. But yeah, let me see if I can, here, I think this one's the best one to kind of bring it into you for the close-up. I could definitely say it doesn't do it justice. It's a lot prettier there. That kind of does, like, it definitely has that holographic tone to it where it's like kind of orangey yellow on one side and then like greens on the other. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. There's another way that you can use embossing to embellish a painting. Let me know what you think. If you want to see more of these types of videos or something different, let me know. I do want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow, and have a great day and do what makes you happy.